Good morning, Shelby County. My name is Dr. Lewis Brooks, and this is my podcast, One-on-One with Dr. Brooks. I am so excited today to have what I would call maybe my favorite student here with me for an interview today. So I would like to introduce you all to senior at Oak Mountain High School, Emily Key.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And the reason that I say that she's my favorite for a lot of reasons, we have forged a relationship many years ago, and I'll just give you some insight into that. So when I was running for superintendent the first time, Emily was an 8th grade student at Oak Mountain Middle School, and Emily conducted an interview with me, and I have to tell you that she was just super gracious, and we just had some good dialogue about what I was interested in doing as the leader of the district. She shared some things with me about herself and what she wanted to do as a high school student, and so over the years we've spent some time just kind of keeping up with each other. So I'm just really honored to have her on the show today and to be able to just talk to her about some things. And so I think she will probably ask me some questions as well, and I'm okay with that because she does very well with her interview skills. So Emily, again, thank you so much for being here. It has been some time has passed,
It's been a long time, yeah.
Yeah, some time has passed since that interview. I have to tell you, you still have the same sweet face, Emily.
Oh, thank you.
So, and the thing that I recall the most, I think, from the interview was how interested you were in what I was seeking to do as a superintendent. You really, I felt like you were just interested as a student. And so it was really motivating to me because that meant that I had something to do. If I was going to become the superintendent, that I really needed to do those things that I was talking about. So what do you recall the most about that day?
I remember you told me that your favorite movie was Space Jam.
I did.
Yes, that's what I remember the most. So.
Yeah.
I know
that. Hence all the basketball references in my podcast with One-on-One. So So some years later, you're a senior now.
Definitely.
Tell me what your experiences have been like over the last few years. I know we've had some challenges.
Definitely, yes.
But tell me about school over the last few years.
Well, I was talking to someone about this the other day. My last normal year of high school was my freshman year. So that was the last time we had a year without COVID. And I think the main thing I remember most is all the different organizations and teachers that have really made an impact on me. So throughout everything, I've noticed how the clubs here at Oak Mountain are just focused on serving and helping other people. So I think that's what's been really awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because you serve as an ambassador, is that correct?
Yes, sir, yeah.
And you're involved with Oak Mountain Media pretty heavily?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I'm glad that you feel like those things have been supportive of
Definitely.
you. Moving forward, I mean, again, we've had some difficult years, but I'm really interested in what's next for you.
Okay, so I'm enrolled at Sanford University. I'm going to be a music major, clarinet performance for my 4 years. I'm going to add in a double with communications too. Okay. I'm in the Micah Fellows honors program there too, so I'm excited about that, yeah. I'm hoping to do law later on actually, kind of family and civil, maybe in the realm of social work. So that's the goal right now. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm very familiar with that campus.
Yes, it's
I
awesome.
went there. Yeah, it's great. It's really good. So I actually may see you up there sometimes because I teach courses up there.
Really? What do you teach?
Yeah, I'm in the College of Education. So a lot of times I do some graduate courses. So I'm there at night.
Okay.
But we'll grab coffee and
Oh, yeah,
catch up or something
definitely.
like that. How about that?
Yeah.
Um, so I want to ask you a few questions about, maybe school. And my first question is, thinking about going to Sanford, if you could take 3 of your classmates with you, who would that be and why?
Okay, I can think of 3 immediately. Celia Slaughter, Ethan Mallory, and Lewis Fuller. I love them because they're able to bridge this gap between community and friendship and education so well. I've done different clubs with them. What I've noticed is they truly have servant hearts, but they also just love education, and they don't do anything unless they're 100% passionate about it. So
That's
I really
awesome.
admire that about them.
That's awesome. That's good. That's good. My next question is, of course, we've mentioned this is your senior year. Describe your senior year in 3 words.
Ooh, I would say exciting, busy, and anticipation, if that's a word. Yeah.
All right, tell me about the anticipation piece.
I mean, there's a lot going forward. College applications, that was obviously a super difficult process. I think I wrote 35 essays for scholarships.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, of course, I just got you out of a class where you were writing an essay, right?
Of course, yeah. Macbeth this time, though, so that was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would say that's a lot going forward. You're going into the unknown, kind of. So.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? I will say this. I believe that the unknown, you are really prepared for the unknown. I think you are.
Thank
I
you.
think you are. So excited about that. I want you to finish this sentence for me. I will always remember blank about Oak Mountain High School.
Probably the friends I've made and the educators that I've had really close relationships with.
Yeah. Talk about your teachers a little bit, because, I think it goes without saying, we feel like we have great teachers in our school district, but specifically here in this school, we have great teachers. So talk about some of your teachers you feel like that have been truly impactful to you, even though you've had these difficult years, but talk a little bit about that.
I would say the first person that comes to mind is John Milton. He heads up Oak Mountain Media, the broadcast program.
Sure.
And I had him as an AP macro teacher too this year, so that was a little different.
Yeah.
His mission statement is that he empowers students to lead positive change.
Sure.
And I have truly seen that in him. He has taken nothing, a room filled with old McDonald's bags and little handy cams and film that I had never seen before. And now it's filled with these $1,000 cameras, and we're bringing people like you and James Spannon to interview. And he just did a whole 360 with the program, and now watching him take all these students to camp, and we're going to do service projects, it's just really inspiring to see someone just see so much good in so many students. So
Yeah, the room is amazing.
It's amazing.
It has really transcended since the time I interviewed a few years ago.
It has.
With a guy, I think his name was Ryan Hall. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I interviewed with him, but I was in the room recently. It's just amazing.
I know. It looks like a real news studio in there. He did such a great job.
Yeah, and I think they're doing some animation now. Is that right?
Yes, that's a new course.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Cool. So, good deal. So this is kind of one of those questions that, I think always is interesting to me because, it's one that I think causes us to reflect a little bit. But if you could change one school rule, what would it be?
Honestly, it's already changed a little bit, but I would say dress code.
Yeah?
Because coming from COVID, when school was just completely different than what we're used to, we all kind of just said no to little things like that, and not necessarily attention to detail, but we just kind of laid back. And I would say that it has much less of an impact than we'd like to think it does, whether you're wearing jeans or sweatpants.
Sure.
So yeah, it's one of the little things too.
Yeah. So kind of almost needs to change, you think, huh?
Yeah.
We're just in a different time, I think.
We are.
So,
I agree.
Yeah. So, well, what questions do you have of me?
Okay.
I've been asking all the questions.
So I remember asking you this when I was 14 years old, but can you tell me about an educator or a leader that you've had an interaction with that's really inspired you?
Yeah, that's a great, second question. But, certainly I've had my 4th grade teacher come to like a teacher institute
Okay.
where all the teachers come together. I had my 4th grade teacher come, and I had my 7th grade art teacher come.
Oh my goodness.
And those both ladies were truly inspirational to me, and really they were the first 2 people that I believe said to me, I believe in you. Like my 4th grade teacher, I think she brought so much out in me, and I'm grateful to have a relationship with her now. I get a chance to call her and check on her, and so she was the person that really made me feel like I could do more than I ever could. And then my 7th grade art teacher convinced me maybe that I had some talent that I probably really didn't have, but she was encouraging through every art project I ever did. She made sure that I worked hard at it. Here's an interesting thing, though. When I had her come a few years ago to our Teacher Institute Day, she brought a card that I had written to her when I was in the 7th grade.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have that card now. And I was looking at my signature. I'm like, God, my signature was really much better when I was in the 7th grade than it is now. So.
That's funny.
But super inspirational. And of course, Randy Fuller, who was our previous superintendent, he was my high school coach, and certainly he was really supportive of me. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, is your favorite movie still Space Jam?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Well, of course, though, the movie realm is in different places now because you got Netflix, Hulu, you've just got all this stuff. It actually confuses me. So Space Jam is still my favorite movie. Of course, big basketball guy, of course. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
So I know COVID was crazy for like every school and every student everywhere, but personally, how did that end up impacting you?
That is a great question. I think it made me more determined, I think, to make sure that you and other students had their best opportunities. There were times when I was frustrated, there were times when it was really sad. But I think it made me more determined. I think it made me reflective of who I really am as a leader and what's important to me. I think situations like COVID and what we've all been dealing with really made me reflect on my faith.
Definitely.
So I feel like I'm a better leader having gone through it. Certainly I would have liked to, all the ideas that I had, that I shared with you back then, I would have loved to have instituted it, 2 years ago.
Yes, of course.
This podcast is one of them, but again, the COVID interruption really hindered that. So
Definitely.
I hope that moving forward, I'm a better leader because I've gone through something difficult.
Of course, yeah.
So, but.
Definitely. Oh, and I also remember I asked you about the intentions you had for helping our special ed students.
Yeah.
So what has that been like, implementing that through COVID?
Been a challenge because, oftentimes, you find it difficult to serve students and serve their needs when they're out of school. And so that was a little bit of challenge, but I will tell you, the last few months have been really great because we've had things like we've had our special needs prom, which is something that we hadn't had for a few years, and just to see the kids and their excitement for that has been really huge. So, but of course, again, meeting the needs of students during COVID was very difficult. But I will say this, I'm really proud of our teachers because I can recall visiting Chelsea High School one day, and there were teachers that were there. We were all out of school, but they were there working with some of their special needs students. So kudos to all of the teachers in Shelby County for the work that they've done to help make education kind of continue to go forth.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, though.
Yeah. So, well, Emily, I am really, really proud of you, and I'm really proud of the relationship that we've forged, and I'm just so excited for what the future holds. I mean, I think you sharing all the things that you're going to do, and of course going to Sanford, that's going to be great. You'll be close.
Yes.
I'm sure your parents are excited about that. But I am very proud of you and really want you to know that if there's anything that I can ever do to help you along the way, all you've got to do is just let me know, for sure.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I've certainly enjoyed our conversation,
Yes.
but I will not bring up the most embarrassing moment that I had with you. Do you not? You don't want me to bring that?
I remember that
You remember
one.
that?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was so bad.
That was so funny.
So bad.
Yeah.
Should we tell?
I think we should now.
We should tell the
we
audience.
should do it. Yeah.
Okay, so I saw Emily at an event in Columbiana, and yeah.
That's funny.
And so, of course, I waved and we greeted one another, and she was with a guy. And I said, is this your brother? And she was like, no.
Oh my
And I was like, is this your boyfriend? And she was like, yeah. And I was
so funny.
It was it was funny, but it was embarrassing for me because why did I go brother? I mean, I went immediately brother. But
see, I was thinking of a different embarrassing story too.
Okay.
Even better. Because when you were leaving the interview in 8th grade, I tripped over a wire and knocked down every camera and microphone in that room, right in front of Dr. Sayers too. So that's what I was thinking you were gonna say.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't recall that.
Okay.
I was so nervous that day, I don't remember that. But I do remember the day that I said, "Is this your brother?" And it was your boyfriend.
That was so funny.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. So,
yeah.
But Emily, thank you for being on the show. I wish you much success in the future, and again, we're excited to see what the future holds. Thank you, everyone in Shelby County, for joining me today. Thank you for tuning in to One-on-One, and we will see you at the next One-on-One. Take care.